Yo, it's Guido, and it is Sunday morning time for coffee talk. I have my coffee. I don't know what it is today. It's coffee. Mmm. I need to incorporate the as much as possible. Probably a medium or dark roast. Doesn't matter. It's a Keurig K cup. Don't get too crazy about it. But it's coffee, and it's Sunday morning, and that's a good thing. And I am back in my home studio, as you can see. Had a great vacation. Well, I had a great vacation. My son had somewhat less of a great vacation as he broke his arm on the first day of snowboarding of a week-long ski trip. Most of you probably Crimea River. At least you got to go skiing. All right, noted, got it. But yeah, that was a bummer for him. That was a big bummer. But I still got it. I skied my butt off. It was great. Anyway, we're going to do the standard stuff today. So what does that mean? You know, a lot of stuff happened actually while I was gone. A lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff. A couple pop-up things. So we're gonna talk about that as we go. You can see I've got the Lance NC right there. I will have a review for you on that relatively soon. I don't have enough battles in it to really give you an idea. So we'll get a 10, 20 battles in that bad boy, and I will give you guys a review on the Lance NC. So that showed up. We'll talk about Stream Channel news. I'm gonna have, well, I'll get to in just a minute. Big news though, because I've got stuff to get away. I've got stuff to give away. We'll look at the missions and specials, the subjects du jour, which are going to be all about 1.4.1, which a lot of interesting things. I've already said that. Am I talking fast because of the coffee? I think I am. But rewards for merit, blueprints, crew skins, and then a pop-up Artie rebalance nerf. That one's going to get interesting. And you may be a little bit surprised about what I'm going to say about the Artie rebalance, without getting too crazy about it like everybody else is. All right, and then we'll have a conclusion because all good briefs have all these, you know, the beginning, the introduction, the body, the conclusion. As long as you do that, it's always a good talk or brief, right? That is the first tangent we've gone on. I already feel like this is going to be a tangent Sunday, all right? So we've got our coffee. Here we go. Grab your coffee. That's my son yelling in the background because he's nuts and has a broken arm. All right, here we go. Let's get started with the coffee talk. How do I stop this thing? Okay, so channel news. Been on vacation, so it's been on kind of autopilot, so we'll get back to it. Send in those replays. I can always use content from you guys. I know I've got a lot of replays from certain players, but hey, if you're new or you want me to have a good game, just send me those replays, man. That's the stuff I use basically on my channel. I can show you my gameplay constantly if that's what you want, but I don't think that's what everybody wants. They want to see their gameplay up there. Good game, bad game, interesting thing. So go ahead and send them in. WattReplays.eu. Send me the link, and then I will take a look at it and use what I can. I usually get quite a bit. It's tailed off just a little bit. Interestingly, because Interestingly, I have more subscribers now and probably a few less things coming in. So I'd love to get your replay and check it out. And I don't necessarily have to do a replay analysis if you just want to say, hey, here's a really awesome game. Sometimes I'll throw that stuff in because it is a learning channel, but go ahead and do that for me if you would like to. I'd really appreciate that. So we'll get back to hopefully the 2 per day thing here pretty soon as I get built up with some content for you guys. I had a great vacation, by the way, skiing. I just mentioned it in the intro. That was a lot of fun right there. All right, the big news. The big news is that I have one Lancen. I have one Lancen skin, this thing that you can see right here on the screen, and I have 10, both my hands in there, 10, I don't have 6 fingers, so it's not 11, or 12. See Tangent, it's Tangent Sunday right now, Tangent Sunday. 10 rentals to give away, and how we're gonna do this is, the plan anyway, barring anything popping up between now and tomorrow, is I'm gonna stream on Monday morning, and it's gonna start relatively early. I don't have a time nailed down, but you can expect it around 9 to about noon or 1. And I'm going to give away all the rentals and the Lancen and the skin in that one stream. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to try to platoon with some of you guys if you want to. I know some of you watch from work, so you'll be able to win some without platooning. We'll have a little contest, get better experience than me, better damage, better spots, whatever it is, depending on the tank and the tier that we're using, and we'll have an agreement before, and then whoever has if you beat me, then you'll get a code. Maybe if you don't even beat me, you'll get a code. I don't know. I have 10 to give away, so that's quite a bit in 3 hours or so. we'll knock that out. So I'm going to be giving away like candy on a stream on Monday morning. All right, Monday, what is today? The 24th, so the 25th. Expect that to happen. Check out my stream. That'll be pretty cool. And if I remember, I'll go ahead and put the link or whatever it is, the card, or scrolled across or something anyway to let you know how to find my stream if you don't know. But basically, if you go to Twitch, that's where I stream. I should probably mention that so you don't go somewhere else. If you type in Guido1212 Cartel, C-A-R-T-L, then you will find me. Probably if you just type in Guido1212, you'll find me as well. All right, so that is the channel news. Let's move on to missions and specials and have another drink of coffee. Okay, time to shill. I haven't got my check from Wargaming for shilling, because that's how it works when you're CC. If you shill, the more they sell from your shilling, no. That has nothing to do with anything. But let's talk about what's in the... There's a lot of shadow right here, don't I? It's very strange. Anyway, Thunderbolts up there. Let's talk about these just quickly. That's a good tank. That's a lot of talking about Thunderbolt. The FV201 A45 is pretty decent. Tier 7 tank, I believe. Yeah, am I right? Yes, Tier 7. I don't know why you would buy a Tier 4, but if you did, then that would be one of them. Some people like it. It's got a pretty crazy gun for a Tier 4 tank, damage-wise. They're really selling the crud out of this 40K. I wonder if they had some kind of agreement for how much they had to sell it, but it's around a lot. Cromwell B, which should come, I believe, with a Brothers in Arms crew. Foreign aggressive special, yep, BIA crew. So that's one of the Berlin. It was a quartet. Now I think it's 5 quintet. Is that right? There's another tank I thought they threw in there. Or maybe there was 3 to begin with, and now there's 4. But it doesn't matter. The point is, you get a Brothers in Arms crew with this Cromwell B and some of the other Berlin tanks. 64 is a great Tier 6 light tank. I really enjoy that tank, and it's a pretty decent credit maker for a scout. The Pudel it's okay. The 2, oh, they got both the 131 and the Tiger number 6. You can get either one of those. Those are Tier 6 Tigers, so a bit of a downgrade over the Tiger 1 at Tier 7, but pretty darn good tanks. The Skoda is actually better than you might think. Good crew trainer for Chuck. Here's the Fury, so you've got both the Fury and the Thunderbolt hanging out there. And here's the Lancet. For some reason, it's down on the bottom right. They've been having problems with this staying on the website. It's fallen off a couple times, but it looks like it's back. 12 days, minus 19%. This is the War Chest version, the $99. So we're going to go over, and we'll get to that eventually. I think you can buy it separately, maybe. We'll get there. Yeah, whatever. For the gold stuff, there's always a various amounts of... what is it? Whatever that is. Decrease? I don't know. My brain just stopped on that. Discount. That's what it's called. It's called a discount. Various degrees and types of discount on there. We look at the premium. What do we got going on? Yeah, we still have the 30-day discount right there. Actually, this one comes with gold and some other garbage on it. And if we, that's a gold pack. That's interesting. Well, that's a gold that has premium days. I can't keep track of this, man. I don't know. I have no idea what their organization is sometimes. Okay, so now we're on the vehicles, and you can see that they at least have these all organized. And I think once again the poor, where is it? Yeah, it's stuck down here. I think that's probably a reaction to the on-again, off-again problems they've had keeping it on the website. But it's buried down here, and it looks to be... Oh, there you go. So you can get the Lancin separately. What is it? Is this the actual, just the Lancin right here? This looks like just the Lancin. So $35 is what a Lancin costs. Which just looks like a crew and a garage slot. And I believe you also get... no, you do not get... You do not get the skin, which is the Odin's Warriors or Odin's Wolves skin with all the stuff, the 3D stuff on it. All right, so that's cool because I will have one of those to give away tomorrow during the Learning Lancins. Get it? Learning Lancins? Learning Lessons? Does that help? Is that okay? So Learning Lancins. I will have one of those giveaways. So if you've bought the naked one without the skin, then I can give you one of Odin's Wolves skins tomorrow. I'll have one to give away. When I say I can give you one, it doesn't mean everyone. So don't even start. Don't even start with that stuff. What else? This is all the things we already talked about. Nothing new there. Various discounts. I got the word discounts. That's what they are. and the specials, which are always different than the featured, but also the same. Again, I say this every time. I don't know why you have both, Wargaming. What is the point? I don't get it, man. Somebody tell me what the point. Tell me if you like that there's a click for featured and a click for specials. Does it differentiate something for you? Is there some logic in there that you like that I don't get? Because I don't get it. I do not get it. Not the end of the world, but it's very, very, it's clunky. Here's the thing, UI guys. The more clicks I have to do to sort and find things, the worse. Okay, but that's then balanced against everything being thrown up on one page, which you also don't want. I told you that we were going to get on tangents, and that is one of them right there. What else? Nothing really special going on with these. These are all the same tanks we talked about. There's the Lanson. It looks like if you go with Ultimate, do you also get the skin? Because it's not showing the skin. It does not show it. Okay, there you go. So the only way to get the free skin, it appears to me, is to buy the, what is it called? Loaded? War Chest. War Chest Ultimate Loaded Lanson. Loaded Ultimate War Chest. Okay, anyway. Hey, here's one of those ones where you get some premium time with it. You know what, fellas? This was actually a recommendation I made. Although it's not a rental. I'll tell you what, if you're on the fence, this is where I'm going to really shill, all right? Here's the hard sell. I'm going to give you the hard sell. You're one of my viewers. You're a free-to-play player. And you're newer. You haven't already done the premium thing. And you're wondering, hey, is this game for me? You know what? You could do a lot worse than grabbing, let's see, which one of these tanks would I grab? I would definitely stick with a tier 6. Maybe one of the Tigers would be good. The Fury would be pretty good, but it's a medium, so a little harder to play. This would be kind of fun because it's the big derp silly tank. But again, if you're newer, you probably don't want to start with that. So really, one of the two Tigers, the Pudel, maybe not. Cromwell, if I was going to do a medium at tier 6, it would be the Cromwell if I was a brand new player. Very capable tank. And maybe even step up to tier 7 and go with the 45 or FV201 and potentially the Thunderbolt 7 because it's got pretty good front armor. So I know that was a little bit all over the place, but I think you understand what I'm saying. The point is that if I was on that fence, you can do a lot worse than dropping 50 bucks, getting a pretty good tier 6 tank, or 7 in the case of the FV. 30 days of premium to just try the game out for 30 days with a pretty capable, good premium tank, which is going to make you quite a bit of money. Be careful about the Cromwell B because it does require some gold at times, and that will limit some of its money. So if I was just to pick one of these for pure credit making, it would, no kidding, be either the FV, which is going to cost you 46, so a little bit more because it's a tier 7. It might take you to a tier you're not really capable of, so that's the danger there. Or maybe one of these two heavies. If you're kind of comfortable as a medium player, then the Fury and the Thunderbolt are really players in there. The Cromwell is a player in there as well. The point is that if you're on the fence trying to figure out if you like the game, 30 to 50 bucks for a month of entertainment, and then at the end of it you go, nah, not for me, or yeah, let's go back to free tanking, who cares? I'm telling you, that's actually a pretty decent deal, and that's the hard sell. So I'm going to send that part of the video to corporate and make sure they know that I should get my check. Anyway, let me know if you actually disagree with that with me down on the comments down there, because I would be interested in, especially now if you're old and crusty and you've been around 1,000 years and you're mad at Wargaming for the monetization scheme and everything, go ahead and leave your comment, but understood that's a little bit biased because of your experience in the game. But I don't think any of us would still be here if we hated the game that bad. We may be angry, there may be parts of the game we don't like, things that they do, but a lot of us, if you're still watching my videos, you're probably still playing the game, so there must be something good about it. So why not try to get new players in and say, hey, check it out, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, noted, that's fine, move on. All right, something just broke out in the other room. That's pretty awesome. Oh, it's my son. Yeah, I can hear him laughing. Chucklehead. All right, where were we? Shilling. Yeah, let's move on to the missions then. All right, there's probably not a whole bunch here, actually. The standard tournament missions are still hanging out. We have player tank class right, which is pretty standard. I move down here to the Progetto. The Spaghetto 65 is the on track. That's actually a pretty good line. Nothing wrong with the Italian line, and they get really good, I think, personally, at tier 8, 9, and 10. They're quite good and capable at tier 8, 9, and 10. They're kind of fun down lower. They're interesting. This is actually pretty good, the XP Fever. It's the last day of it. It's Sunday noted. I didn't get the info out on it. I could do a video on Friday telling you about everything that happened on the weekend, but that's that's a lot of work. Screw you guys. Anyway, you're thinking, well, hey, aren't you running a YouTube channel, so shouldn't you want to do stuff like that? I don't have all the time in the world, guys, to play this game. Only most, all right? All right, here we go. XP Fever. Again, tangent. It is a tangent Sunday. Off we go. Insulting his viewers. That's good. That's a good way to do it, Guido. Well done. Okay, so XP Fever. Why is this good? Because at tier 8, 6 to 7, and... oh my god, you guys. UI guy, I thought we sorted this out already. I thought we already talked about this. Why is it 10, 6 to 7, and 8? It's hard to take, guys. Oh, and then there's 2 to 5 over here on the bottom left. Yeah, that makes sense. That's good. Anywho, XP Fever 10 and XP Fever. Okay, so those are multipliers. That's... what the heck? Why is there an XP Fever and then XP Fever 10? Why would this not just cover all of it? What am I missing here? I thought I looked at all this. So XP Fever, there's no requirement of tier, is 1.5. Win a battle, top 10. Win a battle, top 10. What am I missing here? Why is there... anyway, you do these 10 times, and you get 15,000 for tier 4 to 5, 50,000, which is great at tier 8, 30,000 at 6 to 7, sorry, and 50,000. Now remember, when you're about to trip the 25th, because that's the requirement, you got to do 25 times, be sure that you're in the right tank for the XP. Which brings me to another question. Why am I worried about getting 50,000 combat experience on a tier 10? Okay, noted a couple tier 10s of unlockable guns or things. Okay, all right, maybe. This is a free experience kind of sync, I guess. You put that in there and then you transfer it to free experience. But in any event, very odd. Not as useful as the rest of these for unlocking stuff, right? Of course, a couple tier 10s that have unlockable stuff, so maybe you are working on that. In any event, it's a good mission. That was a lot on that. All right, let's move on. What is next? I need to find out what is next. A good YouTuber would have already looked at it, would have planned out how the script was going to go and be ready right at the end to segue and transition right to where we're going. But not me. Not me, fellas. We're going to subjects to 0. Oh, right on. Here we go. Let's dive into some 1.4.1 stuff because some interesting things have happened. Some cool things and some interesting things. All right, so while I was gone, oh, today's is all right. Today's starting statement is going to be all right. I think I've used it all right. Anyway, 1.4.1. Oh, that's not it. That's it. Oh, that we just gave it away. I just gave it away. All right, reward for merit. Interesting. Free stuff just to play. Works for me. Probably has a deeper background meaning. We'll talk about it when we get in there. Blueprints, that's part of rewards for merit, but a separate mechanic for the game now. And crew skins, which is crew skins. Anyway, we'll talk about that one as we go. So let's talk about it. Here we go. One of the things that Wargaming has done, which I think is actually a pretty good deal, is this rewards for merit. And there's a lot of questions about how it works. It's really fairly simple, but the actual numbers behind it are hidden. Basically, you play, the more you play, the more chance you have to get a reward. Every 5 rewards is a bigger reward, and then it resets. That's the general idea. So you get 5 different rewards. The 5th one's bigger than the first 4. It resets, and you start from the bottom, and you move your way up. The question is, how exactly do you do it? What's merit? All that kind of thing. Well, merit is basically playing the game, and if it gives you an extra chance via playing well, nobody really knows what those numbers are. All right, so if you get a lot of damage, a lot of experience, a combo, other things, I don't know. It's probably based on experience, I would say, or maybe damage, or maybe some formula of the two in there. Possibly with adding on things like epic rewards and other things like that. But the point is that for each game you play, you have a percentage chance of tripping the reward. And it increases the more you play. Now, my question there is, if I play poorly, does it just increase because I played the game, or does it have something to do with how much merit or experience or damage I've done in each one of those games? I don't know. I think somebody will probably do that math and start to figure it out. Maybe better players then would get their rewards for merit faster than worse players. That I don't know. But you just play the game and they show up. So what happens is you will get this little indicator right here, reward for merit. You can see that I am ready, or I'm working on my 5th one. So it'll be, I don't know if it was green. I think it's green when you actually get it, but it shows you, the highlighted one shows you that I'm on the 5th one. So when I click on this, actually it's right here, you can see it comes up and says, all right, buddy, you've got your 1st one, 2nd one, 3rd one, 4th one. I'm working on my 5th one, and you have this little lock, and you can see it starts to crack. And the more merit, whatever that may be, you have, the cracks get bigger and bigger until eventually it opens up. Now, does that mean that there's a random chance potentially? It says, it kind of indicates there's a random chance. Or does it mean that I eventually get enough merit, whatever that happens to be in the game, experience, damage, spots, whatever, that it eventually breaks? Or is it a kind of a combo of that? Meaning that the more merit you build up, the higher your percentage chance. There's a little RNG roll, and that thing breaks and opens up, and you get your box. It's a loot crate, essentially, idea right there. I wanted to actually have one break, but whatever the timings, I don't have time to play right now. I only have time to babble on Sunday morning. So you guys cost me playing time. Let's go off on that tangent, all right? You guys cost me playing time. I'm sitting here helping you, right? I'm doing you a favor. Or you're doing me a favor. I don't know which one would irritate you more. Which one would irritate you more? Oh yeah, me thinking you're doing me a favor, that would probably irritate you more. You're costing me playing time, man. Back to rewards for merit. Too much coffee, I just hit myself in the lip. Do you know how hard it is to actually drink on camera? It's really weird. The second you turn the recording thing on, you're a complete idiot. You're bashing yourself in the face, you're drooling down. It's very strange. I wonder if movie stars have that same thing. I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Rewards for merit. Play the game, get free stuff. Now, what do you get? That's interesting, because what you get is, among other things, the standard stuff. I think there's reserves, there's credit, extra credits coming in there. There are actually quite a bit of directives, and we talked about that a few weeks ago. Make sure you're checking your directives and use them. They're not worth anything else other than to put on your tanks. We went over that quite a bit. We can maybe do that in the future, but be careful. The upshot on that one is be careful about clicking the automatically resupply, because if you keep playing that tank and you go past the ones you have in your depot, it'll start taking away from your bonds, because that's what those things cost, so watch out for that. But back to blueprints, let's get into those bad boys. Where do I find my blueprints? How do I know? Go to your tech tree, and then see this thing up here, this blueprint thing? It's a little bit vague, but there it is. That's a new thing, okay? Haven't had that thing. You click on that, and it turns it blue. Print. Now, what I can't show you guys, unfortunately, is how to do this, because, interestingly, I have everything unlocked, so I can't actually show you how the silly blueprints work. But the point is, with them, that you will get blueprints for 3 things: specific tanks, specific nationalities, or, as you look up here, universal. And I have 5, yeah, there you go, universal fragments, which can be, along with national fragments, used on any tank that you want. Now, I have another account, actually, that I was doing some free-to-play and early tank stuff. I might go back and play that a little bit and give you a little bit of academics on how those work. But there's formulas for each tank to unlock. So things to remember on this. Number 1, you can pretty much unlock any tank on any tech tree or line. As you get these fragments and you get enough, you can unlock the tank, or decrease the experience to unlock the tank. That's probably an important thing I failed to mention earlier. I think it's 7% for each fragment that you get. it will decrease the experience requirement for that tank. Eventually, I think you can get it to 100% once you get all of the fragments for that tank. Clearly, the higher tier 10 ones will have more fragments. The lower tiers will have less fragments. Couple things to think about, which I was getting at initially, is if you unlock a tier 10 tank and you are only at tier 6 on that line, you will not be able to, from my understanding, to buy that tank. You will have to unlock everything in between. So that's an interesting thing right there. What is this all about? Well, if you're a new player and you just sat down, let's say you were Guido 7 years ago or so, and you sat down and there were 4 nationalities and many fewer lines, and you go, okay, let's start grinding. That looks manageable. If you're a brand new player today and you sat down and looked at all the lines, you'd be thinking, there is no way in a bazillion years I will ever be able to unlock all the cool tanks in this game. It's quite a daunting task. So they have done a lot of things recently to start speeding up the grind, just to let people experience more of their game. So if you look back on the missions now where you're getting a lot of 30,000, 10,000, 50,000 chunks of experience, you now look at the blueprint thing with the rewards for merit, another way to start speeding up the grind a little bit. And I think that's very smart on Wargaming's part, because they wanted to be careful earlier in their game. They don't want people to blast through it, get everything, and go, I'm out of here. It's a grind game. That's what it's about. But at the same time, they've come to the realization, I think anyway, again, this is me speculating, but it's what it looks like to me, that, you know what, we need to speed up some of this capability so it's not quite as grindy. Let me go off on a tangent here, though, because while this is a great idea and it works on your tech tree line, and I'm speaking directly to you, Wargaming, at this point, because of the way that you're monetizing and creating premiums that are better than tech tree tanks, you've got 2 opposing situations here. And I'm kind of sat here thinking, well, okay, this is cool. I think it's a great idea, but at the same time, there's a kind of dichotomy between the 2 ideas here, because clearly most of your premium tanks are better than your tech tree tanks. So while you're incentivizing tech tree grinding, and the entire game is built around tech tree grinding, there's this entire now separate pay-to-win piece. Okay, I use the term pay-to-win. It's not exactly that, but unfortunately, that's what it looks like. And most people probably sat here listening to me probably think that. And there's a lot of arguments to that effect to say that that is true. So on the one hand, cool. Let's make it easier to unlock the tech tree tanks. On the other hand, everyone's kind of looking at it going, okay, noted, but I can just go buy a better premium. Obviously, not everyone has the money to do so. So there's a lot of factors in there. It's not simply one thing or the other, but it is 2 kind of opposing views on the design of the game that are kind of curious, at least in my estimation. See, I told you it was Tangent Sunday. It's Tangent Sunday. What are we doing next? Here we go. We talked about blueprints. We talked about rewards for merit. Those are overarching broad brush ideas on what I understand them to be right now, and I will dig into those more as we go over the weeks, and we all start to learn it. Crew skins. All right, how do I do that? Well, we go to Garage. We go to our person. Let's not use a special person. I don't even know. Can I change hers? That's a good question. No, you cannot. So that's good to know. I cannot change Judy Snow, a special character, because she's already a special character. Wait a minute. Hold on. Was it there? No, skills. Didn't say skins. All right, so let's go to this clown. We got Fanjunkari Six Gun Henriksen. This is Fanju 6 Gun Harrison. All right, 6 Gun. What can we do? We can crew skins. There it is, right there. Go to their personal file, crew skins, and I have this guy who has a little explanation down below. Okay, so these are well, they're stereotypes. I mean, they really are. It's pretty funny, but the explanations, go ahead and I may dig into these in some other video. This one's going to go long anyway because I've had so many tangents and so much to talk about. We won't dig into it, but if you want to see some funny stuff, just read them. All right, just read them. If you look at the bottom, it says, I can't put the pointer down there. Restrictions, male, Czechoslovakia. All right, so that's a Czech guy. You got that guy. This dude is a Polish guy on the bottom. All right, so he's from Poland. And then you've got these non-historical, no restrictions. This is an RNG dice, obviously. His name is RNG Penetrail. RNG Penetrail. I'm probably saying that wrong. There's something funny about that name other than RNG that I can't figure out. But I'm not that smart, so it doesn't matter. I can put him on anything. You know where a lot of people have been putting this dude? On the KV2. I've seen so many pictures of people posting that they've put RNG on as the commander on their on their KV2, which is pretty funny. But that's where you're going to find these. Some of these skins will come as rewards for merit, which is cool. I don't know if any of them are going to be sold. I would bet they monetize special skins at some point and bring them out. These are great things for when they do collaborations with gaming companies and other things like anime, blah, 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 that they can then monetize that and sell them as well. These are the standard, and I think the historical ones will also drop in the rewards for merit. So that's how you do it. You just click apply, and it will change the dude. And guess what? It's free. So let's do that. Let's see what if we can change 6 gun. We'll just change his head. Now look at that. He's a dice guy, and then we can remove it, and it's gone. That's pretty cool. All right. So they have not monetized the putting the skin on and off, and I do appreciate that, to be quite honest, a lot. Now, personal data, here's the other thing. You can actually, have you been able to do this? I don't know. I think you could pay to change the name at one point. Is that right? I don't know, but whether this is something I've just learned or something they put in 1.41, don't know, don't care, but here it is. You can actually change your names. And people have been having a ball with that. So I think it wasn't free in the past, or it wasn't available. But in any event, it is now available. So let's go actually, we'll run over to the Americans since I are American. And we'll find these guys in there, and then we'll go to Staff Sergeant Colin Compton, and we will go to his personal data, and we can rename him, let's see, something, Crosby Nash. Can we name him Nash? Let's find out. We can name him Rainbow. Did that say Rainbow? I think I can't spell. L-M-N-O-P. Oh my gosh, this is painful. There's a lot of names. That's good. That's good. That's not very fast. All right, we'll just scroll. Nash. M-N. Come on. We're burning up time. Oh my God, look how many M-As there are. This is crazy. That's hard to control, actually. You know what, dudes? UI guy, you need to mech this better, because that's really hard to deal with. Nash. There we go. Crosby Nash. Okay. Call sign Stills. That's Nash. Is that Nash? Oh, there's no Nash. There's just Nash. Wait a minute. No. Oh, wait. There it is. Found it. All right. There we go. Glad you guys stuck around for that, aren't you? A good YouTuber would edit all that. But I want you to see how the sausage is made. All right? So to speak. But here it is. Crosby Nash. We're going to replace his data. He's now Crosby Nash, call sign Stills. All right, there you go. That's crew skins. That is crew skins. All right, last thing, Artie Rebalance. This is interesting. Okay, this. Wow, wargaming. I don't know what to say. I don't really know what to say here. This is a straight up nerf to artillery. There, I said it. Am I celebrating? No. No, I'm not. No. Because if you've listened to me at all, in my opinion, the fix is not nerfing artillery. The fix is not making artillery necessarily better than it is, or making it worse than it is, or limiting its numbers in game down to 1 or 2 or whatever, all the iterations of dopiness that we have done in the last 5 or so years that they've started to look at artillery. It has always been my position, and will continue to be my position, that artillery needs to be made fun for the game. Whether you play it or play against it, it needs to be fun. It needs to match the rest of the mechanics of the game, which is actually fun, and that's why we play. And it has always been my contention that the problem with Artie is that it plays a game outside of World of Tanks. It is not threatened like the rest of the tanks. It is not an active participant in the way the whole game is played. It has its own separate gameplay, which is like whack-a-mole. So simply moving the numbers, making it More splash, more damage, more accurate, less accurate. All the things we've done has never once addressed the problem, which is the ability to whack somebody without any kind of counter. Right? There's no counter to it other than vague counterfire, and I will admit there's slightly more counter to it right now with wheeled vehicles. That has actually changed it a little bit, but that has only made it more dangerous for the artillery than make it more balanced and interesting game class to play and play against. And now a straight up nerf across the board, right? So this is interesting in here. They talked about, let me just read this because this really encapsulates their, in my opinion, complete misunderstanding of what the problem is. Commonly known as Arty, or Arty for short, the SPG is a truly unique vehicle class in World of Tanks, okay? And a significant number of World of Tanks fans play them. Yes, that's absolutely true. Coming a long way in their development, okay, that's code for we've just flip-flopped constantly. I mean, honestly, dude, yeah, that has to be in the back of their minds. Wow, we just can't figure this out. SPGs have found their place among existing vehicles. Have they? No, because they don't have the place. They play completely different from the rest of the game. Starting off as pronounced damage dealers, translation one-shotting stuff constantly, that evolved into support machines, okay, which apparently now you've decided are too much support machines because they're getting a nerf. Now's the time to tell you how we want to change their stun parameters based on a long study of statistics and your feedback we've accumulated since 2017. Now, I have no doubt that they have accumulated a lot of statistics. There's a lot of smart guys out there that work for them that know all kinds of maths. For you guys over in England, it's maths with an S. No doubt they have a lot of data involved, but the question always becomes, what are you trying to understand from your data? And do you really understand what your problem is so that the data you are looking at is the right data? I don't think it's the right data because what we've got is a complete nerf. Well, yes, there's a lot of people who don't like getting stunned and perma-stunned to death. There were a lot of people who didn't like getting one-shot to death. But those are all, what is the word I'm looking for? Those are all symptoms of the actual problem. So what we've done is we have treated, I'll spit it out in a minute, we have over the years treated symptoms and never once understood what the actual disease is. And the disease is that they are not threatened. They do not play in any way, shape, or form like the rest of the tanks out there. It has always been my contention that the fix is to bring them more in line with World of Tanks. So at the beginning of the game, they have to maneuver. They have to worry about being countered. They are actually vulnerable. The other team can counter them. They can counter the other team, and then they become part of the overarching mechanics of World of Tanks. So if I want my medium to get damage, I've got to get somewhere where I am going to expose myself to return fire. If I'm in my heavy, the same thing applies. Obviously, TDs are a bit stealthier, but we need to get SPGs down to where the threat level against them is more like TD level, as opposed to I'm magically able to avoid damage for the vast majority of the game, win or lose, highest survival rate, all that kind of thing. So how do we do this? I think it's pretty, honestly, it really is pretty simple. Make the tracers much easier to see. I think if they did that right off the bat, it would make it a lot better so that counterfire became a more effective part of the game and that it would be more important to the game. And once you start to threaten them so that people can actually counter them, then you can start talking about making them better, make them do some more damage, make them maybe a little more accurate, make their damage come in line with maybe a TD, potentially, as opposed to these one-shots and other random things they can do. Decrease maybe some of the amount of HE kill damage against crews. All of these symptoms then come into play once the tank is actually playing World of Tanks instead of whack-a-mole from the back. Other things I've talked about and I think would be very cool are things like scouts being able to light up the sector that they're in if they fire. So if the scout is within 500 meters, 700, whatever it is you want to do, something big but not covering the entire map. So that if they get close enough to where the SPGs are firing from, the SPG fires, then that sector lights up to other SPGs, maybe even to the rest of the team. So that the scout goes, hey, I got Artie firing from this sector. He doesn't pinpoint it, doesn't allow counterfire right there. The other SPG players on your team would still have to be looking in the right place. Now the tracers are more pronounced, counter battery fire becomes more effective. There was a while back where counter battery fire was very effective. The tracers were very pronounced, and it didn't last very long. I want to say 6 months, maybe a year. And counterfire, this also happened to be, now this is interesting, this also happened to be when artillery was a lot more accurate and did a lot of damage. There was a period where artillery was really central to the game. And if you could kill the enemy's artillery, you had a huge advantage. Now that was way too far in one direction. Then we've swung way too far in the other direction, making Artie pretty useless out there and countering pretty useless. But somewhere in the middle of that, where they're actually playing the game and can be countered, is really where we want to be. So the scout will light up the sector, the counterfire will become a little more effective. The Artie will then be made more effective to play or more fun to play because they'll actually be better as far as dealing damage in the game. With maybe talking about a little bit more of the support stuff and stun thrown on there as well. There is some understanding that maybe there's some buffs in certain areas to come, and if Wargaming is going slow and trying to rearrange it, things like that, I think that's a good deal. But again, if we concentrate on symptoms, the symptoms which we've concentrated on the whole time, then I think we're just looking at band-aids that are never going to make anybody happy. I honestly believe if you make them counterable, make them have to maneuver, make them have to think about a lot of things that the regular tanks have to think about, and then increase their capability to affect the game in some aspects, that you're probably going to have a better fix than anything. It'll be more fun to play. Players will understand that if they can be countered and they have a good team with them, then that can work. Much like players understand that if I have a good scout on my team, that's going to help me a lot. If I have a couple good TD players who know how to hide but also move up, that's going to help. If I have some medium players that understand vision control and maneuverability, that can help. As opposed to what we have now, it's just random damage and stunning coming from the back of the map. All right, that was a lot. That's kind of where I'm coming from. I'm actually sorry for the Artie players out there, to be quite honest. You may be surprised for me to say it. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to go, good riddance, you dirtbags, you know. But for me, it's kind of crummy. It's a Nerf bat with no real explanation. And that's why I read this. That's why I read this, because my God, look, I love these guys, man. I do. I enjoy being a CC, and I work with the NA guys. And this is well beyond the NA guys. Obviously, the home office does all this kind of thing in the rebalance. And we're out in the hinterlands in NA, but I don't get it, man. How do you not get it? How do they not get it? Maybe I'm the heretic. Maybe I am the guy who has an idea that doesn't matter. But I really, really believe you are putting band-aids on symptoms, and you are simply not addressing the actual disease, which is that these things do not play World of Tanks per the rest of the mechanics in your game. They play a completely separate mini game. Now, if that's what you want, and you believe that certain players like that aspect, and that's how you're keeping those players in the game, then okay, you know, I am the heretic, and my ideas have nothing to do with how you want artillery to be mech'd. But I really believe you can make the class more fun for people who play it and who play against it, and bring it a lot closer into line with the rest of the mechanics of your game via what I think are probably some fairly simple, at least conceptually fairly simple ideas. What the coding requirement, the rest of it would be required, I don't know. But hey, you've added siege, mode, all kinds of stuff to your game, so it's not the impossible dream. That's pretty much it. Really, it's just a nerf. I'm not going to go through it too much. There's a lot here about how they do the math. The nice thing is they've told you how they do the math. If you want to know, it's all in here. And the upshot is that it's a pretty hard, it's not a hard nerf, but it is a nerf. Some Artie fans will say it's a hard nerf. People who don't like it will say it's not enough. you know, because it wasn't removal or whatever the case may be. Some changes in characteristics of tanks. All these tanks got their splash damage, reduced by 5%. Here, and the last thing I'll leave you with, again, it's one of those things I don't get it. I'm looking at this, I'm like, all right, GWs, yeah, okay, M12, that's fine, okay. We go down here, and then it says, oh, by the way, GW Panther, you terrible, mean tank, you're just the scourge. You're getting reduced accuracy. We're going to increase your reload speed by 1 second. Okay, cool. And then we're going to increase the dispersion. So you're going to be less accurate, and your dispersion is going to be worse. So quit dominating, GW Panther. And I'm like, so the M44. How does the GW Panther? Again, I'm advocating for my arty friends right here. I really am. How does the GW Panther get a nerf and a slight buff? At least a change. And the M44 is, I mean, it's just somewhere in the corner. You see him kind of slide. They come in with the nerf bat, and the M44 is like, okay, gotta go. We'll see you guys later. Am I wrong? Did I miss it? It's not. No, I don't see it. It's not there. Holy crap, dude! Really? All right, let's wrap this up because this is okay. So I said this is a long one. Anyway, remember tomorrow I'm planning on doing learning Lansons. Get it? It's a pun. It's kind of funny, but we talked about channel news, the missions and specials, the subject du jour, a lot on 1.4.1, and talked a lot about artillery. Again, as always, down in the comments, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me if you agree or disagree, or even if you have a better idea. Actually, if you have a better idea, tell me, and I'll steal it, and I'll consider it mine. So that's kind of how I roll. Remember, I'm doing you a favor, okay? By doing this for you, you're not doing me a favor by coming here and listening. I am now at the level where I'm going to start, being a little more haughty and aloof. So you're doing me a favor, and I told you it was Tangent Sunday. I am out. You guys have a good Sunday. I'll see you on Monday. As always, if something comes up, then we'll do something else. But if I start to stream, you'll know. All right. See you later.